feels like a country at war with itself. And in fact, we're told that very often. This country's on the brink of civil war, and everybody hates everybody else on the basis of some immutable characteristic, on the basis of race primarily, but also of sex and then political affiliation. And basically, America is about to explode. It's the crock pot you forgot to turn off, and it's about to just blow up and wreck your kitchen.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta. You just saw Tucker Carlson on the screen talking about the division that's here in the United States of America, otherwise known as Babylon the Great, or Mystery Babylon within the scriptures. And this place is likened unto a melting pot. People say that within the secular world, because you have all the people from all the different nations gathered here in Babylon in this melting pot. And the scriptures speak about how it's the place with all the mingled people, and that's what's going on. And the elite, considering they're small in number, have ruled off of division, divide and conquer. And so they've put divisive philosophies out into society over the years, over centuries really, because they've split. The northern and southern kingdom were split already. Speaking of the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, with the Negroes being of the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom being the Latinos and Native Americans, they have implemented philosophies to keep us divided. But they've also done this all throughout the nation, really the world. They've implemented ways to keep society divided, such as colorism and race. And really, I hate even saying colorism because women speak on it so much, but that's something they put out here. And you could go back to what's that letter, the John Lynch letter, and he spoke about how you could bring the light-skinned Negroes inside and then have the dark-skinned ones outside, and that'll create division. But they've done this throughout history. They've put things with race, so it divides, keeps the different races divided, even though they're all here. They do things with gender. You've got feminism, you've got MGTOW, you've got socioeconomic division, you have philosophical division. There's just so much division here within Babylon. And we're getting to the point where all these things are about to boil over, just like Tucker said. And it's almost like they've mixed all these different ingredients, kind of like he was saying, but none of them go together. It's like putting baking soda and vinegar together and expecting it not to explode. All this stuff is going to explode. And this division's even carrying over into the elite, because they're against each other. They have different plans for the future. They're not all on the same page. And all this division is what Yahweh Shai spoke of when he comes back. So we're going to start here in Luke 12 and going to jump down to 51. It says, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division." And there's always been division, but we're seeing it really boil up at this point. We're seeing these vast differences within the people, within different groups within society. And this stuff is all going to come to head. Jumping up to 49, it says, "I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it already be kindled?" And so it's going to be going on. You're going to have these different civil wars and race wars and gender wars and even World War III before the return of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, before Yahushai comes back and places this earth back in proper order and takes his rightful seat at the top of it. But division is here, and it's prophesied. There's going to be wars. So we're going to jump to Isaiah 19 and verse 2. And it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." The Egyptians are these Babylonians. It's these Americans. Because America is likened unto a lot of different ancient kingdoms. Egypt being one, Babylon being one. Sodom, it calls it Sodom, calls it Assyria, it calls it a lot of different names. But here, it's speaking of America, and it's referencing Americans to Egyptians. And you could tell this is prophecy because this, in this manner, didn't happen in the past, in history, in ancient Egypt. They had little skirmishes and trying to take power, but there was never a full-out civil war within Egypt. "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians," so the Americans against the Americans. This is that division that Yahushua said he's coming to bring. "And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." So all these things are going to boil over. There will be civil war here. People will be fighting. There's division on all fronts already. And it doesn't take much of an imagination to see that these things are going to get physical eventually. I'm going to jump down to 2 as well. And it says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai of hosts." And it's looking like that fierce king is Donald J. Trump, because he's putting out divisive bills and divisive talking points. You see that he's deported or trying to deport the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Native Americans, as well as the Latinos, so-called Latinos, and then he's importing or bringing in South Africans who are Edomites. Edom being the so-called white man, including the Small Hatters. But you're seeing this fierce king, and you're seeing some of the bills he has introduced, like the Big Beautiful Bill, in which supposedly ICE will be one of the top funded organizations now, above the FBI. And this is causing more and more division. And eventually it's going to get out of his control, which Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is truly in control, but it's going to, but these elite think that they have it under control so that they could push their big plan, their grand enterprise that they want to push. But none of this stuff is going to work. This is their end, and they're about to see that, because staying with the idea of a fierce king, and that being Donald Trump, and the things that he's introduced, eventually the people are going to start going against the government, because you can tell that they're actually pushing division, and people are starting to wake up out of their slumber. You have the great awakening of the Israelites, but these other people are awakening too to the wickedness of the people that are above them. With the spending bill, this big beautiful bill, they're trying to take away FEMA services, and prices are going to go up. There's a lot of tax cuts for the rich, and this could possibly be something that sets these people off to where you get the sedition that's spoken of in 2nd Esdras 15. And this is just showing more division between the people and their government, their mind controllers. There's division there. and that's going to explode as well. So 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 16. Actually, 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So violence is coming. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So that's showing division. The civil war that will happen. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. The kings and princes, this modern day age within Babylon the Great, are your senators and your judges and mayors, and the president is included. These congressmen and your politicians, they're not going to regard what they say because they don't have their best interest in mind. And so these people are going to go against them. And you could see that all forming. Especially, I really thought it was going to be it when the LA protests were going on with ICE. But all that stuff's going to keep going. There seems to be a protest every single week against ICE. And eventually, the authorities are going to shoot on those people. And when that happens, you can imagine there will be sedition. This is all prophesied because America goes out through many different plagues. Lots of things are going to be happening. Lots of terrible things for these regular people are going to be happening. We're going to see it. Lord will. It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So don't care what the presidents or these senators or judges or congressmen or anyone says. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So this is something we should look forward to seeing. Watching these people lose it, go against their governments, go against their neighbors, go against people of different socioeconomic classes, watching them just civil war happening, watching the left versus the right, watching immigrants versus non-immigrants. There's a lot of division here, and we're at the end. So you should look to this to come to a head. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.